Going live. Hello and welcome to a brand new Unsourced. I'm joined again by Tony, Doug, and Mikhail, and we're talking about Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest. We're back in the cornfield. Jason's returns. They thought the cornfield was safe. There's always one thing in life that's true: death, taxes, and corn. And we're taking it to the streets. Finally, we're going to the hood like Leprechaun did, like Jason did. Michael hasn't done it yet, but he might. Okay, but so here we go. The first direct-to-video one. So this is gonna be fun, and let's go to the round table. Let's see. What do you guys think of it? Mikkel, you first. What do you think? Your basic thoughts on Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest.
I was pleasantly surprised. I tried watching the opening scene, and I actually think the opening scene is pretty bad. And that kind of turned me off of it. And then I saw the rest of the movie, and I was like, hey, wait a minute, is this actually like kind of sort of good, or at least making its way there? It's definitely the best of the first three Children of the Corn movies. And I was just amazed at times by all the stuff that it does well, and how that coexists with all the stuff that it does poorly. You know,
Mhm.
um, I mean, it just screenplay wise, it has the most competent screenplay by far. And the effects here are at times like I was just like surprised by, like, at times, it's like you're watching that, I'm like, oh my god, no fucking way. I can't believe they actually did that. And I guess that might be because supposedly this is the movie where you have screaming Mad George providing the effects, right? I think his correct proper name is George Tani, right?
Mm.
And I mean, if you've seen some of the other stuff he's done, like I think he was on the first Guyver at least. Definitely worked with Steve Wong on Kung Fu
Society.
Rascals. Yeah. Oh, in Society. Yeah, Yeah, the was it? I think it was Brian Usna, right?
Yeah, he did a lot
So
of use that stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, like so the effects work here is at times just kind of amazing, right?
Yeah.
And there were genuine moments later on that I thought were legitimately well done, just like in a in the sense of like style and mood and atmosphere, which is all the more perplexing as to why some parts of the film look very shoddily filmed. But then, like, you have sequences like the one set in the church or the chapel or whatever, like that final dream sequence that's in the movie. I like that kind of shift into surrealism and this kind of more moody, more artful horror, if you will. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, and anyway, yeah, so it's a very overall, it's a really weird film with some high highs and some with some highs and lows, very uneven, but overall best Children of the Corn so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, props for that.
Um, Tony, what do you think?
I'm gonna be like more positive on this, I think. And I think I think that I'm actually might I like depending on what Doug has to say, like I think I might be the most positive on this movie.
I think I
Um
thought so. I would get that impression.
well,
This is the most
it's
Canadian Children of the Corn.
hey, no, it's the most Chicago Children of the Corn. You can tell because there was a matte painting of a house in front of Chicago skyline. Um, but so the thing that works about this movie is that it really moves and it has a lot of ideas and it knows when to move on from certain ideas, right? Like sometimes with these movies, there'll be all of these things they'll just be hitting you in the face and you're like, like can I really like is this really enough? This it actually feels like it has a logical through line. And my major issues with this film come from like, oh, I feel like we brushed over something there. Oh,
Oh,
all of a
100%.
sudden he's got like a bunch of kids that are following him. Oh, why when is this girl going to tell this guy that she's killed her parents, right? Like things like that, right? But at the end of the day, the effects are amazing. The cinematography is actually really impressive as well. The directing is nothing to write home about, but the performances are a lot of fun. And I gotta say that Eli does give Isaac his run for his money in this. I have to say, he's actually
I also
commanding.
like Eli.
I think I like Eli better than Isaac. He is a more commanding presence.
Blasphemy!
Wait. In terms of performance or in terms of being a character? Because those are two different things.
Everything.
I cannot support half of that statement.
I think
I think there
that
are
it
certain
really works.
scenes that he plays better than others. Like I feel that I really do feel that
When he's not talking, I think he's a Malachi. When he's not talking, I feel like he's got a good vibe to him. He's like a little smarmy patty. He got this petulant little face.
Okay, look, when they're not trying to demonically distort his voice and actually let him like be like a fire and brimstone like preacher, and to really play off other characters like he does with that Father Nolan guy, I think he works.
Cast out the
extremely well.
infidels.
Yeah.
He's actually like commanding and he like really earns the presence that he has, and I feel like that a lot of people throughout this film deliver great performances consistently, including the principal as well as the mother character that we've talked about.
The mother rocks.
We'll definitely have to crack into all that stuff, but ultimately it's like I'm not going to say this is like some amazing home run. This is a really messy movie, but if we're talking about like you're turning on the television, right? You're opening Shudder, what have you, right? And you're like, I want to watch like a popcorn horror film that like is the perfect amount of goofy B-movie entertainment that's going to make me smile and chuckle while still having moments that actually catch me off guard and make you go, oh, okay, that's an interesting decisions in a narrative sense. This movie actually does pack a lot into it. It's not perfect, but it's a very good time.
All right, and you, Doug, what do you think?
So yeah, I would agree that it's the best of the three, but like a lot of the issues that have already been raised, like definitely stood out for me. I feel like we brush over a lot of stuff where other in previous entries, I'm like, okay, we get it, move on. This one, we move on way too quickly. And I feel like some of the best elements aren't highlighted. Like we'll get into it, but like if we already were saying off mic, like, oh, the mom should have been the main character, because I'm like,
Yes.
oh, we got rid of her too quickly, because like, and there's just such a weird dynamic. Like there's a moment between her and Eli that's like so strange, and like her reactions to all the weird shit is like really fun. Like it's like a really good use of the adults in this. I'm pretty mixed on Eli himself, because I do like the moments where he's just kind of just like being a stinker, like before he's like fully revealing, like before he's being like fully demonic, like he just like it seemed like almost like an Amish Dennis the Menace, and I like
Yeah.
I like when that's happening. I'm less interested when he's preaching. I kind of it's not that I don't buy it. I just kind of don't care when he's doing his thing. Whereas when Isaac's up on the pulpit preaching, I'm like, all right, I gotta sit my ass down and listen.
I agree. All right, so my take is yes, this is Children of Corn with the most kind of concise and structured story. There's not really a lot of fat on it, but there is a lot of stuff that could have been, as you mentioned, expanded on, developed more, just earn its payoff, because there's a lot of stuff where we'll even get a montage. We'll have like a lot of backtracking where we'll see, and I think maybe it's because of like budget, how long you can get the extras around, things like that, where you see like Isaac talking to one person, and the next scene, like someone will say, but he's preaching to everyone in school, and then we'll see like another scene right after, and like a bunch of kids, but like, okay, and that seems like it's happening way too fast. It feels a little bit unearned, but overall, narratively, it works. I mean, we've gone to the two extremes: a movie where nothing happens, and a movie where a lot of random nonsense happens, and then this one's like, okay, it doesn't have anything to do with Children of the Corn. It's kind of like you're kind of the Omen kind of movie. It's not really very corny, but it
there's corn.
It's corn, but it's
Some would
it's
say
fine.
it's integral to the plot.
You know what I mean, like Children of Corny. I mean, but it's like it reminded me a lot of like the Omen 2, Damien, the Omen 2, where it's like, okay, little kid, is very demonic. He's the Antichrist. Eli is pretty sure he's the Antichrist. He's like the son of the he who walks behind the rose, right? Is that the implication?
They never.
Mhm. Yeah, they don't explain it explicitly. That's one of the things I wish they like. You just find like pictures of him like dating back all these years, and they're like, "Oh my god, do you know what this means?" I'm like, "No, what does it mean?" but he keeps referring to his papa, and I'm pretty sure that's like he who walks behind the rose. So like,
yeah. So it very much feels like the Omen 2, where Damien's like a little teenager, middle schooler, and yeah, no, I like it. It's corny. Eli, I mean, like he's like a Malachi. I mean that he's a very kind of visual performer when he's like talking, kind of miming, and just doing a lot, physical body work. I think it all really works. What he's preaching, I just think that his voice and the range is just not developed enough to make that interesting. It feels a little screechy. It feels a little bit like a middle school play, and not in a fun way, like the first movie was. So yeah, no, I didn't really like him. And the older brother, Joshua, who guy looks like Jacob Elordi, all right. I thought that was him. Like, holy shit, is really bad. It's just really bad.
He's a wet blank.
Yep.
And like
he's got resting stupid face.
He's supposed to be like from like an Amish community or like very farmland community, and like this guy. It relates way too quickly to like a laid back 90s teenager who can't act, Oh,
the moment he plays basketball, I'm like, oh, this is who he is.
Sorry. He's not like Mike. Okay. He did not get magically enchanted to be good at basketball. But I liked it. And I wish it was a little bit longer, but let's get into it. Okay. Children of Corn 3. It's basically a full reboot. We're not even giving a shit about part 2. Part 2 mimed at stuff from part 1, but this one is like, we don't even care. Let's just say it. Okay, Gatlin. There's a sign from Gatlin. People know what that is, even though the second one didn't take place in Gatlin at all, and it's not really an interesting town name like Crystal Lake or anything like that. But Gatlin. And it begins with the abusive father of Joshua and Eli chasing after them. But Eli uses his satanic magic. He has a little Bible book, a little black Bible, to curse the abusive father to getting evil deaded by some corn stalks into becoming a scarecrow.
This is the first time that we see like one of Eli's like bejeweled but with corn kernel like objects. Yes. I just love that every time. Like it's just a funny thing that he just keeps on doing throughout the movie. And the movie escalates so quickly. We just start with like the abusive father in slow motion cutting up crops with a scythe, and you're like, all right, whatever. Like, seen this a million times in these kinds of movies. Like, it's just going to be boring, and then we'll cut to something. And the moment that like he gets hit with the vines is the moment you're like, this is unlike any other Children of the Corn movie we've seen so far.
That's definitely true, but I just like really did not like that sequence. Something about it to me just feels off, even just from like the rest of the movie. I mean, I'm having to wonder, maybe they shot it like later when they were really like low on money or whatever. But it just looked weird. It just looked and felt off so much that I kind of wanted to, I was like, oh my God, I can't watch this, And then I saw the rest of the movie and I'm like, the rest of the movie just feels so much better than that opening sequence.
Mm-hmm.
It's the pacing of it that's kind of weird, because like in the way that it's cutting around, like the dad like catching up to them, and then you have the stupid brother being like, okay, promise you'll be right behind me, and then there's like, it feels like a few minutes pass where he kills the father, and then Joshua comes back. Is like, I thought you were right behind me. It was like, how long did it take you to realize that?
And do you not hear the screams? As well. That guy is so stupid in that corn. He's got corn blindness. I'm still mad about the ending. He deserves to have died and not Malcolm. He fucking got Malcolm killed for his stupidity.
They've got an of mice and men thing going on, right? Or like one of them is definitely like, or like a Pinky in the Brain scenario, if you will, right?
Yes.
What I like about this moment, because it's not exactly a great moment, right? But what I
No.
was saying before about this being different from the other Children of the Corn movies is that there's actually violence in a meaningful way, because before it was like, oh, here's a set piece and then everything else is just people running around, right? This time it feels a lot more dangerous. It feels like there's, anything
The
can
corn
happen.
is a threat.
Exactly. And then also the fact that, like, the quotations like he who walks behind the rose, right? Like immediately when you see something like this, I don't feel as though it's just going to be like, oh, here's like a camera filter that's coming after us now. It feels a lot more tangible. This movie is like, at least like, no matter how dumb it is, I'm at least going along with it because I'm like, oh, this feels tactile this time. And the problem with that whole kill is that it's like so quick and almost like Looney Tunes, right? The way that the father is dispatched of so quickly, but the dynamics of their relationships is established so quickly as well.
I guess that's true. I think like some of the stuff that turned me off was also that I didn't really maybe see the immediate, like, I don't know, maybe I didn't see like quite the logic of it. I was just like, wait a minute, what is going on, and where did the strings that show up on his eyes and face come? What? Like,
So I feel like this scene was heavily reshot because I'm looking through the scene. I like to go through these little things, second by second when we talk about these. And one thing I noticed, okay, is that so in the scene, here's what's happening. We'll do a play-by-play. Okay, so the abusive father gets his arms wrapped around by the vines, okay? And then his right arm gets torn off.
Mhm.
And then the next shot, he's wearing a lab coat. And both his arms are still on. And then he gets crucified. But he's wearing a lab coat now. And
The lab coat's weird. Yeah, where did that come from?
And so I think this is heavily reshot, and I'm going to say why. Because later on, Eli will say that his father, talking about this guy who's not really his father, was developing this corn strain, and so I feel like an original idea for this was that he's going to be a scientist.
Yes, because they also have moment where Josh was talking about like my dad was doing experiments with the corn, and it's also tied in with this whole thing that Eli was supposed to have like some divine connection to corn as well, and was using the supposed scientist things connection to do that. And also, I think a reason why they do this whole lab coat explanation is because later on there's that whole fight in the cornfield with like the scarecrow, right? And I feel like it would be a lot easier to have a lab coat over somebody with all of their limbs than to have somebody with like one half of their body exposed. It's like a practical reason, and that's why they did it.
You think they like realized halfway through killing this guy, like, wait a minute, we already shot the ending.
Maybe that's another reason.
Yeah, they were locked in.
But anyway, so it's so dumb, and Joshua's dumb because this guy's like screaming for his life, getting drawn and quartered. And he's like, well, what happened? Where's my dad? And why is this guy who just like the scientist wearing my dad's clothes behind me as a scarecrow? What a fuck! What an idiot! I hate him so much.
But this makes me like Eli. Like he's just like a little stinker. He's like, let's go, like let's figure it out, And like I already know immediately the dynamic. I'm like, this guy's gonna be a little shitter.
Yeah,
and I love how much shit eating grin he's got.
Anyway, so they run away and are put into the foster care system immediately. We're gonna yada yada.
I do not get that whole point at all. I'm just like, wait a minute, but like, what? When
Did no one investigate anything?
Yeah, like when did they get in there? Like, so is their father dead? Do people know? But why would? Wait a minute. But if he thinks his dad is alive, why would they get put into the foster care? And wait, but that's in Nebraska. So then, but they're taken to Illinois. Like, what is going on here?
You just got to go with it because it makes no sense.
Eli uses magic to make it happen. Okay,
He's been doing this for decades, right? This is not his first time doing this, right?
Wait, if he can do it for a decade, why didn't he go to the city earlier? You know,
Well, come on, you can't. It's
You're
like you got to break in a pair of new shoes. You know
he was
what I
in
mean?
Gatlin for 30 years, apparently.
That's a short period of time for an immortal. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, right. Like he's supposed to be what, like a 40-something-year-old guy preacher inside like inside what, a 15, 16-year-old body, right? I mean, I guess that's
14
the
at
idea.
best, man.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
think, I don't think
think
he's
he's
at all.
younger. Yeah,
It's like
Oh.
The actor's like 16, but I think the character's supposed to be like maybe even 12. I was because he's like supposed to be much younger than his brother.
They're up in high school, so let's say 14 at the earliest.
Oh, it's
Right.
true. Yeah.
Right. I
Right.
mean, I don't get, I never got like how that was supposed to, I mean, you see that stuff and you're like, wait, how does that work if you start picking it apart? But I kind of I mean, I kind of like that idea. I just don't get like any of the mechanics by how they even arrived and how they were adopted and how, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Because they're in the system. Like this isn't just like they got off the bus and a family was like, "Oh, let's take you in, you poor things." It's like, no,
This is not Paddington.
they
Okay.
went through the process.
So I don't know. Like maybe they were in touch already with CPS, and they were like, we know their dad is abusive, but we got sort of deprogrammed them away from him. There was like a bus waiting to take him to like the whole thing of CPS later on in Nebraska. We don't know.
It happened so quickly, right? And like in the amount of time in which like we are given this information, we're already being introduced to this young couple that's like looking to adopt 2 boys, right?
You know
And
what?
it's like you barely got your footing by this point.
You know what would have made this so much more simpler?
What's
If
that?
it was just like a follow up on what happened to the fucking kids from the second movie.
But I
Like-
kind of like the clean break here, Like I do kind of like not having to be associated with what happened before.
But
There's
you
a
ruined
little
the
tricky
saga. Continuity is king. The DCU proves this.
here.
And they show flashbacks to the first 2 movies, like when the priest is having like nightmares. So I don't
Yes.
understand, like they are trying to make it a clean break, but they are also tying to. I'm like, what's the implication here? Is it that? Yeah, like Eli was responsible for these things because he was around before. Like it's like confusing why they show that.
There should have been a part where
Exactly.
there should have been a part where Joshua finds like a bunch of Isaac clones, and then like Eli was like, he was me all along. I am the corn.
Always
Eli hanging
was.
from like a crane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just Rise of Skywalker. Fuck it, I believe it.
No, but honestly, though, you're saying that it just keeps reminding me of how it was one of those things where, again, it's like, why is this here? Like, why is this whole clone thing? Because it's like, what does it even mean? It's never explained. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even the whole Gatlin thing. I mean, I'm like, okay, so I guess it was Gatlin and He Who Walks Behind the Rose was there, and I'm pretty sure they even used some footage of the guy burrowing underground from the second movie. But like, what's the actual narrative link? Were they part of that original, like cult? Were they Isaac's, like students or whatever? Or how did the whole 1964? I sometimes think it was maybe designed to be like a separate movie at one point, and then they had to retroactively like insert references or something to those first 2 movies.
I mean, it's very much The Omen. Like you watch The Omen 2, it's very much that.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I don't think it was began life as a separate movie. I just think people like, oh, religious young kid, let's just rip off The Omen. Just write like the most basic Omen script and just jot in corn stuff, and we're done.
I think I'm a lot more lenient on this specific part of the lore because like it's established that Josh was not really a part of Gatlin in the same way as Eli. Like they're adopted brothers, right? And it seems like this guy with the lab coat like was Joshua's paternal father. Is that not right?
Yes, yes. Which I think
So it's like
which I don't mind because the Eli being immortal thing is pretty cool and fun to think about and funny to think about.
That's what I'm saying, right?
But
it's the idea that he was always in the background at the scene of the crime. I just don't think it's been fleshed out enough for it to be convincing.
If it had been, I would like it more than them being just brothers. Because I think that them being brothers is like an interesting wrinkle at the beginning of this, where they're really just brothers, and Eli is just the one who really kind of bought into this, and maybe he really was just maybe at the start to protect his older brother. It is like a role reversal, and maybe Joshua could feel a little bit guilty because he needed protecting by his little brother, something like that. It can feel like there's a bit more contrast and direction there. So I kind of missed that because it would have made Joshua's character, maybe not his acting, but his character a little better. But as it is, Joshua has a lot of nothing to do because now Eli is like really this funny little interesting concept, and Joshua is just guy.
Because if they're not actually related and Eli's always been like a demon, then there's no like conflict in terms of like, you're like, okay, just kill him then, like it can't be like, oh, I can't hurt my brother, like there's not really any feeling of that. It just, once it becomes like, okay, now we have to stop Eli, but there should be like some kind of like, going back to the Omen comparison, like that's not even Gregory Peck's son, but there is still the sense of like, can he kill this kid? Like, because like,
yeah, he really doesn't want
conflict. Yeah.
No, but I would say there is some of that. I mean, the general idea of it is that like he is like completely under Eli's spell at the beginning, right?
Yeah, spell. So it's not like it's not familial bond. Like the moment like he starts having friends, he stops caring about Eli immediately.
Okay, no. Well, look. When I say spell, I just mean like it seems like they have this weird kind of power dynamic, like Eli very much, and it's not like a literal spell. I mean, he has like his own free will and everything. And when they get to the city, it's like he's the one who starts kind of adapting to the new environment. He starts seeing, oh, wait a minute, there's stuff outside of this culty relationship that I have, like, I mean, so he starts breaking away, right? And like seeing, okay, like there's a whole, there are other people that I can be friends with. There are other things than, like the court. So at least in a general sense, you can kind of see that progression. He ultimately has to recognize that like this brother of his, even if, and I actually think there might have been some, like maybe homoerotic implications here and there, by the way. But like
Eli is definitely, I think Eli likes a stir pot.
Yeah, exactly. So I think like in general, like his whole thing is, okay, he has to go on this character journey or whatever to realize that like, okay, his brother is a monster, he did all of this, I gotta, he has to be stopped,
Yeah.
It just feels like we're missing steps because he becomes
it's a switch. It's a switch on. I can see what you're saying. I think maybe that's the implication. Maybe it's not a real spell, but it feels executed like a spell. Because the moment he makes friends, he's like, "Fuck you, Eli! Don't hang around my brother. He's bad trouble." Like come on.
It's because Eli makes that ultimatum, right? It's that idea that like the moment that like because there's that
should be a little more back and forth. Otherwise, what's the point of making them brothers to begin with? They could have been two separate foster kids that meet up.
But it's this idea that like so Eli was there for him because his father was abusive to him, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like that's a bond that like that escape at the end was not just Eli manipulating him in a sense. It was also him getting away from his abusive father, right? So there is a sense of loyalty there. I get that entirely. But then it's the moment that he's in this new environment, right? There's that whole sequence where he's waiting for his brother on the basketball court and he plays the basketball. And the moment that Eli comes in, he's like, "Oh, how dare you play their games?" That's like a big that's a big disgrace. You've chosen them over me. But it's like, what was he supposed to do? It's because he's setting these harsh boundaries that of course the brother's going to change. The problem is that the brother has nothing to do in the middle half of the movie, and Eli's change is so rapid without it being sold that it's almost like there's two different chunks of the movie and you're missing like a bit of connective tissue.
Yeah, I feel like we're on agreement that things happen too suddenly, like whether or not that's character based or not. I think that is dependent on our perspective a little bit more because the movie doesn't really give us a lot to go on. I like to think of it as like in terms of just missing a fundamental family dynamic. I wished out because that's an interesting thing. I think the first one actually has like a family dynamic that you can really sort of like sink into. I think the second one kind of tried to do it, like, oh, what if what the fuck is his name? Mordecai?
Micah?
they made it so
Micah,
close, right? Yeah.
Micah, and the other and Danny. Danny's is easy to remember. Like Micah and Danny were like, oh, we're close, and you can't trust your parents. You can trust me. I'm your friend. And so, like, I feel like we've tried that twice now, and they keep fumbling parts of it that make it interesting. If you're including it, it should be something that has a lot of pathos to it. And Joshua is just such a blank slate all the way through. I get nothing from him.
I laugh when he's being dorky. I don't like him, but like I like the basketball game when he's like in a full white button-up shirt.
I just can't believe he got Malcolm killed. He got him killed.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah,
he got him killed.
The guy literally said, "Okay, watch my back," and he like does nothing there.
He dropped the Bible. He dropped it.
Right.
Like it almost felt like a trap. Like whoops, I dropped it there. Go get it. And then he's like eviscerated. I mean, it's a gnarly kill. It looks cool, but
it's insane. It's like I did not expect it to go on that long. Not even the abusive father died that horrendously.
Yeah,
for sure.
There are some cool kills in this. It just muddies the water in terms of, like you said, it's like not a literal spell, but then later when Eli's amassing the cult, it does feel like there's a thrall put over them because it feels like it's a hive mind. Like
exactly.
That they don't have no will of their own.
So this is a thing. Okay, wait a minute. So this is a thing that I did not exactly get from the movie, but sort of reading about it, I was like, is the idea maybe that the reason why he gets like all those kids under his control is because he had them eat the corn or something? Is the idea that the corn itself that is brainwashing people?
I think so.
Because he's so interested in when his dad is like, or his adopted father's like, yeah, we're going to sell this corn everywhere. And he's like, even to children. So like, I think that is part of his like takeover plan is like, yeah, if they all eat this contaminated corn, then that's like, they're part of the hive then? I don't know.
See, another connection to part 2 they could have made, That would have been so good, Goddamn, the perfect trilogy was in their grasp. All we need was Frank Redbear to come back, and we would have golden.
No.
Where was he?
He's in peace. Leave him be. Like we don't need to, bring him back from the underworld.
Danny should come back, drop kicked the giant corn monster. And then we wouldn't been good.
No. He made it impossible for he who walks behind the rose to enter the spirit world. That's why he had to come out, and turn into a giant insect monster at the end there.
Finally,
is a perfect trilogy. The themes are great. Anyway, we meet the parents. And I forgot their names.
Mom and Dad.
$10, whoever can remember the fucking names.
No, just mom and dad was what I was thinking of them as, really, right?
So they're okay. Goddamn, are they even like listed? Okay, Billy and Amanda Porter.
Yes.
And okay, the dad is he's a plot device. That's it. He exists to
slimy Chicago businessman.
He's there to enable Eli's rise to power. That's it. But
his job is business. He goes to a building that says like Chicago Business Building, and he's like, "Yes, I need to sell more corn."
I think a big promotion.
Yes, I love that scene where it's just like he's sitting in his office with his boss, and he's like, "Well, I think I need that promotion now," and his boss just like, "It's not going to happen, but I'll think about it." It's like, I know nothing about these characters. You just
he's like, fuck ethics. That's his real line. I wrote that down. He said, fuck ethics.
Oh, that's right. He does say that later on. But what I like about this family is like the dad just kind of seems like he's like, yeah, whatever, we'll get these kids. And it seems like the mother actually does want to be a mother. But she immediately knows that something is fucked up. She doesn't hate them. She just knows that something's fucked up with
She clocks it.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps that Eli's not hiding things at all. Like that he's actively like kind of like gaslighting her, like the whole like bugs in the suitcase thing.
Great.
He puts, doesn't he like tongue her ear? Like when he asked for
right before she died. right before she dies. Yeah, and like, oh god, man, that's crazy. That's some crazy shit. Because he's like, yeah, I think that kid. I think that's the best thing the kid does because the kid is so fucking slimy and gross about it. Like,
I
Yeah.
mean,
Like,
he's
can I get a
manipulating
kiss?
everybody. You know, I really like how, you know, they showed like he's manipulating everybody like in different ways. Like even you know, like that moment where Joshua drops that priceless thing. It's like the way that it's shot, it's as though Eli like just he gives him like a push.
oh my
Like,
god, that's who he was. He played the Antichrist in Dynamic Toys, and he was really great in it.
Antichrist?
There it is.
Yes, in Demonic Toys, he played the Antichrist in that movie.
He also apparently was in the Jeff Bridges, Peter Weir film Fearless. I forget which character they play, but it excited me to know that because I do love that movie.
Okay, but yeah, no. So he's a little shitter. Okay, so he's great. He's great at that kind of shit. The preaching, not so much, but because in Demonic Toys, they do a like they dub him over with like an adult's voice, make him like extra creepy. So I think that they should have done the same thing here. I don't, whatever.
Or
You know?
like done that when he's give him like an adult mind control voice or something, because like, yeah, it just has less of an impact when it just feels like that the
going
kid,
through puberty.
because I get the idea in the first one at least that it's like, no, the kids are actually buying into Isaac's like preaching like an actual cult. Like it's not just like magic brainwashing. Whereas here it's just like, no, your will has been overridden.
Yeah.
Well, I do find the scene in the church when he is like doing the sermon to those people interrupting the pastor. That's an interesting sequence because he's essentially like turning the sermon into this whole like kids need to rise up against their parents thing, right? Like it's all and he's using like lots of like you know, like revolutionary, you know, liberatory kind of language to then like bring them in and then reveal their cult status, right? I see what they're doing. I see the steps that they're taking, but I see that also that because it's wrestling up with you guys there, it's the same issue that we said before, right? It just isn't fleshed out enough to where it just makes us feel like there's like these big leaps where we're like, how do they get this warehouse filled with children that quickly? And like I do think about that scene with like the guy with the butterfly knife, right? Like they must have done that with a bunch of kids at that point.
But yes, so back on the mother's end of things, she is really great. Like she's like he goes like this whole little Rosemary's Baby kind of short film throughout her scenes. Her scenes start to feel like an entirely different movie compared to everyone else's.
Which I wanted to be the whole movie of her like putting things together and then everyone being like, "You're crazy."
Exactly, because it feels like it's a lot more visual, a lot more focus on the individual thematic and suspenseful like set pieces in terms of construction of how these scares go. It doesn't feel so overt, and it's really fun stuff. It really is. And her character and the way she performs is like so distraught, so uncertain. There's lots of stuff going on with the body language and her facial tics. It's like, oh, you feel like there's like weight getting loaded onto this poor woman, and it's like probably makes it the best character because I was like really like invested in what was going to happen, and then she gets killed like at the 30-minute mark.
It makes it, her scenes are the most tense ones because I'm not really scared at any point during this movie, but there's a palpable like stress, like you're saying, in her scenes, because there's just like her body language in parts when Eli says that they're just gonna wear their normal, like they're not gonna put on the clothes she got, and then he gives the explanation he gives, and then she's just like, okay, like you can tell like how nervous she's walking on eggshells.
Yeah, it's tense, you know. That's it. It's like it feels like claustrophobic. Like she's like stuck in this house with this piece of shit kid.
She genuinely wanted to have kids, right? Like it seems like everything was going out well, but then it's just like at every moment she's made to feel like alone. Like her husband doesn't really seem to be listening or caring. The husband is more suspicious of Josh for no reason whatsoeher.
Like kids are gonna get some discipline. Yeah. And I'm like, what does that mean? Are you to hit him? Like
like what did he do? He didn't do anything. But what, like I'll just come out and say it. Like I thought that the movie was definitely going to just be with her taking over the protagonist
Yes.
at some point. When she does die, that caught me off guard. And it was a moment that I was like, okay, this movie's actually kind of subverting what we've seen so far with these adult characters. So much so that this entire series, because we've seen it. So it's like we get the kid subplots, but then the adults are always the ones who are moving the plot forward, I guess, because those movies barely have any plot. This time, it's like the adult with the most amount of impact on the plot gets killed off in the first 30 minutes. I think it's actually a really good twist on the formula, so to speak, of this franchise.
Yeah, no, I was shocked too. And again, I agree. If the rest of the movie had something that replaced that, equivalency of that in terms of like how interesting that was, this would be even stronger than it is.
The priest character, I mean, Father Nolan was like
Kind of.
I think he kind of did that. I mean, I was actually surprised at how extensive in the end his role actually was. I mean, you think
I thought he was going to die way quicker.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
And
But
I mean,
I just found it so boring.
no, but like they really show him in a similar situation. It's like nobody believes him that like there's this demonic kid in their midst, that he's doing something to the children, right? And it's like and it's like he has like these surreal sequences. I mean, sure, like the first two nightmares are like, they're using whatever, but then he has that final dream and I'm like, wow, what is this? Like, where they show
The
the
dream
kids
within the dream.
No, yeah, exactly. And they show those kids like wearing, the Jason potato sacks and everything, and like literally, sir, I was like, whoa, this is actually really well shot. And then they have that confrontation in the chapel where he's like, "What are you? Oh, you know who I am. You've known, since the moment you saw me. As did my dearly depart." I'm like, okay, that is good. And he's the one who figures it out, right? He's
The
like,
book. It's your
yeah.
weakness.
No, I like that stuff. And then and then
agree.
like and then he's killed, right? But he actually does something for the story, right?
He seems like a principal who actually cares, right? And the moment he's introduced to these boys, he can tell that something is off. But then, like, obviously the gruel thing is this moment that like inspires these nightmares. But then it's also a guy who's going through a crisis of faith. He's the principal of this Catholic school. Are all of these students really religious? It doesn't really seem like it, right? How embarrassing and demeaning and demoralizing would it be if like a child was turning everybody into a more religious person and you aren't, right? To the point where even the people you work with are agreeing with them, right? Like, I think that he's going through a very interesting arc there. And then I also just have to say, on like a funny note, he does look like John Cleese.
A little bit, yeah.
So like, I just kept on thinking John Cleese was doing all this.
So I'm
the children of the corn with the
I'm gonna make a guess because there might be someone, and I'm pretty sure it was him. I'm gonna click on his name, and if I'm wrong, I can bring it up. But if I'm right,
he's the snooty hotel manager.
The Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
yes.
I had no idea it'd be that much. I won't pay.
Exactly. He did that voice. I would have loved him more if he did that voice. Because I don't know. I agree with everything you're saying, and I think I appreciate the character more now talking about it. But I overall, like, it's just not as strong. Because once unlike the mother, the guy is a piece of shit from the jump. Like, I don't
hilariously so.
Yeah. And so I don't care that he's getting gaslit. Like, just kill him. He deserves to die anyway. It's my perception of him. And so all the stuff where he gets like torched, like, come on, I want him to die already. It just feels like it's stretching it out. I'm not invested. I'm getting like, this is repetitive. Just kill him. I don't care if he dies or not.
But then if he dies sooner, then who do we have? Because as this Joshua's like nothing. So and speaking of Joshua, like we talked about him and like the dad being like the Joshua's problem. I thought that there was gonna be a subplot. Like, this would be a cliche way to go, but like you do have the urban setting, and I thought there was going to be some kind of like
Racism
more
thing?
Yeah, because when he goes next door, the dad's like, come back home, Joshua. And, like, so I was like, oh, is he in trouble because he's playing with black kids? Like, what's going on there?
There's a great line, not a great line, but there's a line I noticed that kind of intimated toward this. as well. And maybe there was a racial quotient in the script, because there's definitely not one in the movie. I mean the friend's character name is Malcolm, but one thing is Eli. Right after the basketball game and right after all that, he starts hanging out with the chick. Her name is Maria, I think.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Oh, I
and
know
then
what you're gonna say. Yeah.
and then Eli is like, why are you hanging out with that?
Yeah, I thought that was going to be more of a thing, because I'm like, well, they are from a very rural, setting, and so
Right.
maybe that's like, and then yeah, of course he's a demon too, so why not make him racist? Like,
But no,
and also he's like a conservative, like preacher kind of guy from the 1960s, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
he's
So
like-
he would.
yeah, he's
You know,
like,
yeah.
Modest dress is the surest way to a pious life.
Mhm. How much
Yeah,
do you really think that she paid for those shirts, right? Like, it's not like they were going to be any.
They were like
more
fucking
modest,
polos, man.
Yeah,
It's so
exactly.
stupid. That's modest for us.
right? What I will say is, like, just to talk about like that whole racial commentary thing, I totally saw the same things about like the dad at the front, and it did feel like it was almost going to be like a back and forth with Joshua and the father, but it just seems like it falls apart. But I do feel that with Eli specifically, there is always a level of other.
Don't play their games. Basketball.
I think that stuff is still there at least, but it's not like it's not insightful, it's just kind of surface level for the sake of tension and the sake of the story.
and you have that weird line from the dad where he's like, "We got a brand new Japanese invention. We call it pizza."
Oh, the coldest looking pizza ever. Like, they're like, you gotta fold it, and it's like you can barely fold it. It's ridiculous.
It's like
I did
TikTok
not get
pizza.
the pizza thing like at all. I mean, it's Chicago, right? Like pizza's
Right.
like a thing. Maybe that was a joke at the idea of what pizza is or something.
I think he's making fun of the kids for being from a rural place, like saying that they don't know what pizza is. I don't know. It was really weird.
maybe because it is like maybe it is frozen pizza, and like maybe that they make fun of that. Anyway, so let's talk about some of the sexual quotient of this movie, because there is weird undertones with Eli, and there's a thing like that with demonic toys. Okay, demonic toys is the perfect through line to that, because that's this kid's previous role, right? Where so he's Antichrist, and the plot from demonic toys is that there's the main character is a pregnant cop, okay, and like the Antichrist wants to inhabit her unborn kid's body, and like her unborn kid soul are like duking it out, possessing like these toys to fight over her unborn child's body. And when she meets this kid, including Eli actor, there's this weird thing where it's very rapey, okay, where it's like I'm gonna get inside you, like he's being very graphic with his shit, very full moon kind of stuff. And then I think there's a through line to like this kid's performance in here too, where we mentioned the ear thing already, which is very, very pointed. And very creepy, and
the
it's
most disturbing part of the movie.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. He's like, if she had died like immediately after that, what the fuck kind of movie was it going to turn into?
Yeah.
But then also earlier, the very first night Eli is there, okay, he goes to plant the his demonic corn.
Right. This
right.
part.
And it's like he kind of possesses the dad. And he kind of forcibly makes it out. The dad makes out with the mother, but it's under like Eli's possession of him, and that's fucking creepy as hell.
Wait, but wasn't that just a nightmare? I mean, my understanding was like, because they show her like waking up from all of that. The way that I understood it was that
it's a nightmare, but like it's even then, it's still like he's inducing that nightmare. He clearly knows what's happening.
I would argue he didn't know. It was more like it's just like because his demonic activity, she somehow picks up on it, like the priest does later. Like it's like whatever he does, it's like it's manifest before that.
But it's part of his whole gaslighting area. I think that you could you can read it either way, because he already did the bug thing, and then later on he does the give me blood corn thing voices from his suitcase thing, you know. And then of course the other thing, I don't think that like I mean, maybe there's room for him not knowing she had that nightmare, but I think there's equal enough room for him inducing that nightmare and just being a rapey little shit.
Here's how we solve the saga, this trilogy of these movies, right? Because we've been talking about the chronology of these movies themselves. You've been looking at this all wrong, right? These are Stephen King movies, and the mother and the priest have The Shining, and similar to The Shining, right? He's like the priest is like Scatman Crothers, right? Where he actually knows how to use The Shining, right? And the mother doesn't know that she has The Shining, so these visions are coming to her in ways that she cannot control, right? We got to think about it this way, and it makes a lot more sense.
But also because it's Stephen King, weird sexual shit with kids. So come on, you can go either way.
You could go either way. So I think this movie has layers, Yeah, it's a Rorschach test of a movie, and we're gonna leave it at that. But I just want to bring it up because it's a really fucking crazy through line.
I do like that little moment during that dream sequence where you see like the ground opening up, and then you see the mother fall through the pit, and then she wakes up after the pit closes on her. Like it almost looks like something out of like the Japanese movie Houseu.
Yes,
it's awesome.
It's great. It's great. Again, all this stuff is so visual and like so enigmatic, and it's kind of insane that it cuts straight to I'm a businessman. I don't give a shit about the little man. I love stock options. This movie is like Captain Planet. I love it.
I like corn stock options.
I'm eating corn on my desk. These are bowls of corn I'm eating.
Speaking of the visual aspects, I have to say that this movie, just from a visual standpoint, really is, I think, the most impressive one of the three. I mean,
it makes more choices.
Like you tweeted about that split diopter shot.
Oh my god, did you guys notice that?
Hilarious. There's a couple of split diopter shots, but the one where he's upside down doing like a headstand,
it tries. I think it tries, but like there's like this giant like 2-inch middle section that's like so garbled and like I don't know what happened, but they tried.
You guys know who shot this movie? Like who the cinematographer was?
Tell me, who is it?
Stuart Gordon. No, I don't know.
Now, that would be hilarious. I don't know their names specifically, but this very same year, this was the cinematographer for F. Gary Gray's Friday.
Oh. It's crazy.
I think it kind of makes more sense when you think about it.
Like, both went to the streets. Yeah.
No, the movie's Friday is shot on lots of wides and handheld, right? Mm-hmm. This movie is doing a lot of that as well. And because of that, it feels a lot more immediate and in the moment. There's lots of whip pans, Dutch angles and quick zoom ins. We even get like the double dolly a couple of times. There's a lot of experimentation going on here.
Some of the other work. Some of the story work, I think it shows to the inventiveness because he also did waxwork. He did Waxwork 2, Hellraiser 3. My God, another Hellraiser 3 connection.
Evil never dies.
He did Return of the Living Dead Part 3, another Part 3. This guy's going around. The Necronomicon anthology movie. Let's see here.
Oh, by Stuart Gordon?
Yes, by Stuart Gordon. Yeah, he did Hellraiser 4. This guy has some pedigree,
So he has worked with Kevin Yeager.
Yeah, he did. I also did Angel 4. The one where
that's the one that the screenwriter wrote as well.
Executed by day, hooker by night. I didn't watch this.
You don't need to watch any of the Angel.
I need to watch all the Angel movies.
You don't need to watch the Angel movies. Those
not the first one because the poster creeps me out. But the other ones, yes.
Well, if you know what the plot of the first one is, then you will not want to watch any of them, is what I'll tell you.
All right. So moving ahead, let's see here. One thing I loved, and this is before the basketball scene, is that there's a shot where like Joshua is fucking tall as hell. It's tall as hell. So whenever like he and Eli are in the same scene, Eli's like sinking out of the scene. And it's part where they're like talking straight to the camera, and like Eli's chin is like right outside the border. just to make room for Joshua's face. And it's great. And like, why the fuck is Joshua's actor so fucking tall, man? Why did it need to be possible? Next fucking section at the school, they have the basketball scene. Okay, that's why he's tall. So he can play basketball
for one scene.
Oh, yeah.
For one scene. He should have been on the team. Should have a whole subplot where Eli uses his magic to make the other guys on the basketball team good at basketball, like Flubber.
What if this was like Teen Wolf, right?
Yeah,
He was on the basketball team, but like he only is getting better because he has corn-related abilities.
Yes, like Flubber.
And then he has to realize the power was inside him the whole time. It wasn't the corn.
Yeah, and he had to kill Eli before the big game. And like, okay, Eli's dead, but I still got the big game. He beats it, and then she just smiles down at him.
I like the part when Malcolm is just like, "Ooh, that's little," when the camera went to him. There's like little lines throughout this whole movie that I'm like, yeah, I'm enjoying this so far.
Yeah.
We also like brushed over the guy pulling out a knife in the classroom.
Right. And
classic Stephen King bully escalation where you just go straight to 11.
And then later on,
he was missing. He wasn't a greaser.
Yes, but he's a classic kind of punk character from.
And he's homophobic. Like he's like, I was afraid you gonna suck my dick.
Yeah.
He's like, no, if you sit down, then you're gay, and then he sits down.
It's an urban environment, so it's dangerous that way.
Yeah, and Eli is racist, so he's like, when he catches that guy and like, I'll release you only if you give me your connections. Like, what are you talking about, Eli? He's like, what do you expect this guy to do? And so it's crazy. And Eli is a fucking stereotypical piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Tone Lock. Or T-Lock.
T-Lock, yeah.
It's T-Lock, but I keep thinking of it as Tone Lock for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think they're trying to evoke that
without saying it.
Yeah.
It was weird the way that they kept using because like there's that whole thing about the homeless guy that comes in, eats the corn, then gets beheaded, basically. And I was just surprised later on that they kept bringing his head back over.
He's still alive.
To the point where it's like, I think it was trying to eat T-Lock's arm or something.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like his arm was like a nexus point for the corn stuff. Like stuff was growing out of his head.
Yeah, they like
Cabbage Patch. Just his head is just in the ground, just sticking out like that.
And that should have been more of like the conception behind the corn monster. It should have been like more like bodily kind of stuff like that. Because you're right. Because the homeless is still alive. The abusive father is still alive. Malcolm, horrifically, is still alive. By the last time we see him, they're all still breathing.
I would say like they're pretty much like as good as dead. They're like possessed at that point.
I feel like
the bodies are moving. Let's say that.
Yeah. And also I will say about that homeless man, I did really love that sequence where like he stumbles upon the cornfield and he's like licking his lips and he's like, cornfield in Chicago. Like.
Anyway, so Joshua and Malcolm dab up. And that's funny.
Amazing. Yeah.
He's got it. The only thing was like 10 minutes away from his brother. He's like, sorry, this is the Brady Bunch movie now. And I'm not one of the Brady Bunches.
The moment where like they stop playing and he's just like that pass, you were doing wonderful. It felt like he was having no problem, on the court, fitting right into that world. But that also speaks to the fact that like this guy needs connection. His dad just died and his dad was abusive. Like he needs to move on.
Mm.
Well, he doesn't know that his dad is dead, admittedly, but I kind of think
fair.
that
Yeah.
that sequence as a whole was just right. Like it was showing this weird kind of toxic dynamic that these two have, and how he's starting to kind of break away from it. Because I mean, you almost have the sense that that Eli was sort of like almost like the more protective older brother kind of figure in this whole relationship, right? And here, like, you have the guy who's like, no, wait a minute, there are actually like other people here. And the moment he comes back, he's just it's weird the way they play that. I get the sense that like Joshua, that Eli is legitimately hurt by that fact. Like he like there's this kind of toxic codependency happening. You know what I mean?
Right. For sure, because it's like Joshua kind of was used to making his own decisions, right? So it's the fact that he's actually being, in control of his own destiny that is so disgraceful to Eli, right? And that's really what it is. They can't control him. This is the moment where he recognizes that their relationship has to make that shift.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
for
yeah, no, for sure. Sorry, you were saying, Mikhail?
No, I was just thinking again, like when we talk about some of the, potential homoerotic aspects. I mean, yeah, because the way that the kid seems to be playing it, he's almost like he is at times almost like a hurt lover. There's the whole thing where they apparently still, they used to sleep in the same bed. I think they show that more than once even.
Mhm.
So it's really, I feel like there's a lot there that, you have to read between the lines.
But
I
it
guess
is there.
It is there. You're right. And they make it like, oh, they probably slept in the same bed. But no, you're right. It's because Eli is really trying to keep a hold on him in all kinds of ways. And let's leave it at that.
I was going to say I saw more homoerotic tones with Joshua and Malcolm. The moment that Malcolm sees that he's sleeping with his, fooling around with his sister, right? He's like,
how
hey,
dare
cut that
you?
out. And then he does cut it out, and they just keep hanging out to the point
They're
where
like, yeah, we're cool again.
Yeah, right. Not even so much that they're cool again, but it's like he totally abandons the sister, no longer hooks up with her until the finale, right? When all of a sudden they're in love again.
You're not wrong. And he get very handsy on the court, especially in the montage. So that's fun.
They did take a very long road trip together, who knows?
Yeah, how long of a drive to Gatlin is it?
So it's Nebraska. So let's say Illinois to Nebraska.
Yeah, hold on. Are you Google searching it?
So let's see here.
I think the better question would be how did how did Joshua know how to drive that car?
It's 10 hours.
10-hour drive. Quick 10-hour drive there.
It felt like 20 minutes in terms of how long it takes them in the movie. Like
let's say they started and they went back a day. Okay, a day.
Yeah.
Without stopping for anything, a day. Holy shit.
Also,
It's
just on the
movie
note
time.
of Joshua driving. Yes, exactly. It's movie time. On the note of Joshua driving, I just love that every time he needs to cross over, he does the fucking over the hood thing from Miami Vice. Every time.
So the mother discovers the corn because Eli decided to use an abandoned lot. I love this because they're living a little suburb kind of place, not a suburb, it's a nice part of neighborhood. And then right behind them is an abandoned factory, right?
They never go over there.
To that
impossibly large wall, and then he just finds this tiny hole, and he's like, "Oh, look at this massive factory to myself."
There's an empty lot. It's what is the zoning of this place? Is Chicago really like this? This magical wonderland of abandoned factories. I know that it has been the same since the Carter Street went belly up, but my God. Anyway.
It's interesting that you mentioned that though, because I feel that from watching, I have been to Chicago on some occasions, but it's interesting how in the movies there is sometimes a sense of a weird, I don't know. So there's something weird about Chicago and Chicago streets. There are certain areas, it's like you cross a certain threshold and it's like you're entering almost another world. I mean, anybody here seen It Follows, for example?
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
Right. So there was a very. Go ahead.
Well, it needs to be called out that this movie was not shot in Chicago; it was shot in Los Angeles, right? And so it's I love Chicago as well. I love Chicago as well, but it's it only has a couple of inserts, and then the rest of it's just sound stages, right? So it's it really sells you on the idea of Chicago, but then it doesn't actually feel like Chicago. This doesn't feel like Blues Brothers or
Right.
fucking Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Like the Chicago set movies, like really do have a different kind of vibe to them. This movie feels like you're walking into different sound stages, and there's like a vague Chicago connotation. Like we brought up that pizza before. That pizza was like a brick. You know, if we're in Chicago, that thing's gonna be drooping everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the black corn that's the evil corn.
Huh. Wonder if that means anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just like you
I
hit
thought
that
all
black
of the
really
corn-
hard there. You know,
I don't know. I thought all the corn was like evil.
But he when he used the black corn kernels to create the other corn immediately, and then he plants like the black corn kernels in the school lunch.
And that weird sex dream the mom has, like they have like black all around their mouths,
Like
when
the
they're
dad
making
is
out.
vomiting up like lots of black stuff into her mouth.
and I like that
isn't
those
the
kernels.
but
Sorry,
isn't
go
like the idea that like I think at one point he holds up like a piece of yellow corn and it turns black because the energy from it is sucked up or something, right? And then it's like everybody eats like the yellow corn and it regenerates.
There's like inconsistent rules because it's like the kernels also, like when they turn black, they also can turn into cockroaches and move around, you know. And it's like it's the idea of
Right.
like whatever kind of needs to be in the situation, right? The whole regeneration thing, it's like, oh, that's so it's like that corn that's in that area could be preserved to be used later, kind of thing. When the people are eating it, maybe it'll be poisonous, maybe it won't be. You know, it really is highly dependent on what the plot needs.
Like
I'm
the
not
mom
really-
can't even cut the corn, like when she tries to cut it.
Yeah,
Right.
it's very inconsistent.
Also-
I'm like, eh.
Also, I want to ask: do you eat sweet corn raw?
That's pretty weird, you know, like not even like gonna like wash it off just once, you know.
Like
one
he
time.
bites into it, you know. Like, do you eat it raw?
I've never had it uncooked. Like, yeah, it's usually like cooked
Boiled,
for a little
at
bit.
least,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
boiled or
Yeah.
steamed or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now that you mention it, I am wondering. Wait a minute. So, what was what corn exactly did Maria's parents eat? Because I think like
Hello?
you know, like all the cockroaches start coming out of their mouths or something, right?
Yeah, we get like a full on like Halloween 3 season of the witch moment, right? Where like
The
their
mom's
heads
head
explode.
splits open. Yeah, it's gnarly.
Yes. Yes, but like they ate the yellow corn. They didn't eat the black corn. At least I think from what we saw, right?
Well, it
Maybe
changes
Eli
from black
painted-
to yellow. I don't know.
Right, yeah. Just like Wiz Khalifa.
That's what the song was about.
It's the black and yellow corn.
I mean, overall, I guess like the idea is that yeah, it doesn't matter what color it is or whether it's cooked or not. You know, it can do whatever it needs to do in the moment.
It's very it's empath corn.
Kind of like Michael Jackson said, it don't matter if you're black or yellow.
I wonder, actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe the idea is that that's how Eli is immortal. You know, like he keeps eating that regenerative corn, so like that way he never ages. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the effect it has on him or something.
There should have been a scene where someone cuts him and he like bleeds corn.
Yes, green
Oh
corn.
yeah. Oh yes, perfect. Oh, that'd be amazing. That's the David Lynch version.
What, Garmon Bosie or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, now that you mentioned that, it is interesting that you have corn being the kind of magical item here. I mean, I just think it's because corn, I think, is a very American thing, right? It's like a classic.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like something that you very much associate, I think, with American, you know, with American holidays and the American past. So here, like, it starts taking on this completely otherworldly significance. Like, I think there was something about that in Twin Peaks, right? Like how you have what seem to be very mundane things that acquire a supernatural significance. So definitely some stuff here that I think is doing I think this movie's kind of doing something similar. It's like finally, yeah, like the corn itself, you know, it becomes like the source of all this supernatural I don't know, like evil energy, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Because like the fact that there is this extra step to say that there is this going to be like the corn's going to be mass produced and sent internationally, right? This and the commentary upon like how lower rungs in society are exploited by the higher classes is kind of what they're getting at with the father, I guess, in this movie, right? It's like
Mm.
very paper thin. I'm not saying that it's like the most insightful version of this kind of commentary, but they're definitely doing it. What was Elvis said before, like Captain Planet, like it definitely does have like a like Saturday like morning cartoon special feel to it, and I'm saying that as a positive, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And like I guess moving along just a bit, right? Because this is like the moment where like the mother dies, right? Like we're
yeah.
not rushing too far ahead.
Nope.
This might be the best kill in the movie, in my opinion.
Well, because there's like a fake out during it. You think it's gonna be like the shears, like impale her, but the scene keeps dragging out. So it is a good like subversion. Because like when I'm watching, I'm like, oh, is she gonna get away? And then it's like, nope, she's gonna fucking get impaled on this like water pipe.
She slips on a pole.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of what we would see in the Final Destination movies, right? Like where it's like a whole sequence built with all of these fake outs, about how someone's going to die until finally like the actual thing happens.
Well, that's the thing as well. Just again, bring back to the woman. A woman pretty much was like the progenitor of those kinds of things. Like the Final Destination had a lot of inspiration for how the Omen kind of played out its death scenes. The whole sort of Rube Goldberg-esque, heavily foreshadowed, and slight deviation at the very end, kind of like whole set pieces. That's what the Omen made its bread and butter on, and you see a lot. With Foundation, I think you're on the right track there. I think it definitely has to do with a lot of that kind of stuff, but it's nice, and I really enjoyed that too because it does drag on long enough where you really are kind of like tensed up and on your seat. I do want to mention though, right before then we did miss one. We did skip one to kill. It's the it's the CVS worker. Okay,
amazing.
And this is like The Mask. This is some goofy stuff. He like calls the mom like, I found something you're gonna want to see. And instead of saying the kid looks like it's an immortal demon child, over the phone, which she should have said, it's like, I'll tell you later. And then Eli just messes with her in the middle of the dark for like 10 minutes and she dies. It's great.
Your face fucking melts. It's great.
He's like full on Red Lost Ark.
Like when he appears from the other side of the glass, right? And he's like lit with the harsh, like incandescent light, right? Like it looks great. It's hilarious. Like the fact that he's like teleporting around and stuff, like in that whole moment, like she really is fucked the moment that set piece starts, and it really feels demonic almost in a way. This kills a lot of campy fun. I liked it.
Yeah, no, I think these are very strong, very fun kills.
She's the one who sent. She's the one who sent it, right?
Because he gets the mail late. The Joshua gets the thing in the mail where it asks for the mom
It's
to
a great
sign.
kill, but I was wondering, she's the one who sent the newspaper clipping, right?
Yeah, she sent, I think she sends in the mail. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
So she had already sent it when she made the call. Yeah.
But then why would she make the call?
Yeah. Okay. Because I was a little confused by that.
I think, but again, here's what I'm gonna say: her death scene, and probably because of the effects, but her death scene is a markedly lower quality than the rest of this film. So maybe reshoot.
Possible.
I would agree with that.
And I just wanted to say too, like, let's compare the fact that we're talking about like 2-3 deaths within the first 30 minutes of this movie.
We're like halfway through. Yeah.
We're not even halfway through this movie, I don't think, are we? Like, is it?
Well,
I
feel like
it's kind of like at the halfway, 45 minutes ish is when the mom dies.
Yes, I think it only felt sooner because of we have to take into account the dad's business scenes. So there's been 3 so far. Like that's
what I'm still trying to get at though is like the other Children of the Corn movies. I felt like
so slow.
They're so slow, and like the deaths are either like right at the front, and then there's nothing happening in the middle, and some at the end, right? Or it's like there's 3 in total, right?
Yeah.
This movie, it's like it's actually doling out. Okay, here's a kill. Here's a kill. Here's a kill. It's actually keeping us engaged in that sense.
And they're not unsubstantial ones either. Like they're actual characters that have an impact on things.
We've been
Like, we're not,
introduced to them. They have some like depth, and quirk to them.
yeah, we're not like wasting like, oh, here's someone that was mean to Eli once, you know, like like some asshole bully or some random teacher isn't getting killed. You know, it's like people who have something to say in this film. So they don't feel cheap.
Yeah, they're victims, right? Like the mother didn't deserve to die like that for like finding out the truth. Neither did the children aid worker, right? Like these aren't people like in other horror movies where it's like, oh, they got high on marijuana, right? Like these are people who are just trying to piece things together, who are getting in the way of Eli being dispatched.
And I like that it is narratively tied together more, right? Like you actually see some consequence, some follow up on like on some of this stuff happening, right? Like it's not just okay, that happened and let's completely forget about it for like the rest of the movie, which is I think a problem that plagued the first two films, right? Like for all the time. Like it just felt that a lot of the deaths felt inconsequential to the story. Like it's just like, okay, let's do this, let's move on. And here it's like, no, wait, there's actually there's some consequence. There is some pay, there's a way that it plays into what comes next.
He's consciously removing obstacles, and then like the eliminating the mom kind of facilitates him like ingratiating himself further with the dad. So like there is a purpose to that. And then also it's interesting that the spooky drawings that are now a franchise staple, I guess, but it's not like there's no precognition here with it. It's like it's seemingly how he's manipulating events, even though other times he can kind of just do whatever, like he was teleporting when he killed the social worker, but it seems like him drawing the family and like crossing out the mom causes her to die. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And that drawing later comes back into the story as well, right?
Like it's evidence that he has demon powers.
Look, he drew an X through the mom.
He did it. Case closed.
My favorite part about the mother's death is unfortunately because you get that whole she slips on the pipe or she gets hit in the back of the head, her mouth opens up, the water's coming out, all that stuff's great. We fade to black and then we fade up and it's her funeral, the wake, and it's the fucking husband being like, yeah, it's a shame, he does not seem broken up about it at all, really.
It's because he ate the corn. He drank the Kool-Aid already. It's like it's suppressing whatever mental breakdown he would have over this.
Exactly.
He's like, okay, got to get back to business.
All I have left is the corn.
Exactly.
And my promotion.
It's kind of like John Wick. Where the dog was kind of all he had left. The corn is that for him now.
All right. So then we get he's fully converted everyone at school. So everyone at school is going to church and they're all wearing black. And I like how some of them are mimicking the Amish kind of formal wear, and then some of them are just yeah, we got biker jackets.
it's somewhere between modest biker, like you're saying, and then almost political, goth. Goth for sure, but then political activist kind of. It's a weird mix of all of them. I feel like
there was not a budget. Just wear whatever you have that's black and not skimpy, and so whatever they want, they just got whatever they could.
I just whenever we're doing those crowd shots. We see Charlize Theron a few times.
Yes,
full on close ups.
She gets one close up, but she's very noticeable. Whenever there's a big scene, she's usually near the front because they know she's photogenic. But she gets one close up, and it's very striking. So they knew where to place her. So in most crowd shots, you can pick her out. Where's Waldo?
It's crazy.
Yeah, and then the next. Did you see it? So. Doug, before we get to it, did you see the extended scene of the monster fight scene?
No, well, I watched this on Pluto, so whatever cut was on that. What's
So
in
there's
the
a-
extended fight?
There's a lot more Charlize Theron, so I'll tell you that.
Okay, because I really just remember her from the crowd shots or like that close up. So like she actually gets some action during.
Unfortunate choice of words there, Doug.
No, there's some action. It's more Evil Dead-y.
Oh no!
And so
Oh no!
it doesn't go that far, but it's like someone had like jab.org, you know, on the other tab when they're making this movie because they got some inspiration from that, 100%. But you know, it's crazy. And like, what the fuck is this? But it was deleted. So yeah, good for her career.
Interesting. Well, it worked out. Yeah,
It worked out. She was in this, you know, That Thing You Do, and then the rest is history.
Tully.
Tully.
Her biggest movie yet. Tully.
You remember Tully?
Come on. Isn't that on the front of your mind at all times? It is for me. That and young adult.
I mean, young adults maybe my favorite performance of her. She's really good at that.
She is great in that movie.
Anyway, so Josh is like the only one that's not released anymore, and it was like wearing black, and then the dad's like, "Oh, let me look at my list of corn countries to sell my corn to," and it just graphs like, should I pick the one at the top that buys the most corn? I don't know, dude. It doesn't seem like a really hard graph to think about.
All of these scenes just feel like formalities. Like my eyes glaze over whenever the husband is talking about his corn business deals.
But you know, I feel I like how that plays into everything. Like he has actually something to do, right? And ultimately, I mean, the movie ends with the idea that, like, oh man, like this corn is now spreading all over the planet or something, right? Like it's going to be like a, you know, like a takeover of the hearts and minds of all the children, and whatever adults eat it are probably going to die horrifying death and all that.
Like the end of season of The Witch, the masks are out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I hadn't thought of that. This,
Exactly.
you know, now that this movie really seems to be taking a lot of cues from Halloween 3. I'll give it that.
So, here's what I want to get your ideas on this. So, the very last, I think, dream scenes we have with the priests, right, is like this. We're like, you know, you mentioned everyone wearing their clan masks, right?
Yeah.
Again, is that intentional? Who knows? This movie doesn't really care. Is that okay? Let's say that Eli is not. He walks around the corn's, you know, kid. Let's say that's not the case. Was this like the original cult? And is the implication that these are his original parents before he became immortal?
Because I thought that's where they were leading with the newspaper stuff when they like show how far back it went. So I like, oh, are they like retconning that like there was like a cycle of these kid murders like started like in the 60s or whatever, and that like he was the son of someone in the cult or something, but yeah, they don't really make that clear. So like it really just defaults to the suggestion of like, oh, I guess he walks behind the rose, because like everything else, like when he confronts the priest, is like, oh, okay, so he is like not human.
Yeah, like, but again, that there's that last dream sequence. Like, is that his family? I don't know. Like, it could be. It'd be interesting, but it really does seem weird just to see like two random old people just bite it.
I really liked that sequence. I mean,
It's really
I thought,
good.
oh yeah,
It's
I
good.
mean, yeah, this is new, and the way that it's shot, right? Like, and
It feels very
I mean,
sinister,
it really does.
like Sinister.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I wish the movie had more stuff like that. But in terms of where it fits in the story, my take on it was that this was a vision of the future. This is like what he has planned for everyone else. You know, like I didn't read it as being a flashback to the past. I saw this as like foreshadowing. Like the priest sees, okay, like he's going to. This is what kids everywhere are going to be doing, if this, you know, like if this guy succeeds.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just all a little unclear, and it probably could have helped if they did more, because the only other times we see the priest streaming, he's just flashing back to the previous movies. So, like,
Right.
that kind of primes you to think that these are supposed to, the other one's supposed to be flashback, but it's like, no, yeah, it would have been better if he just had like these like future dream visions that were like really moody and like
dystopic.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, honestly, I wish they had cut those flashback scenes to the first two movies, because I'm just like,
there's no point of them.
Yeah.
Although it's funny
like,
to see like the doctor's death, but then like everything else is like in gray flashback tint, but then the shot of Eli with like the needle is like in color. Like, wait, so was he there? Are they doing a Palpatine Snoke thing? I don't know.
Like that seemed to be the suggestion, but like I was like, I'm not sure. Yeah, it would have just been clear just to like remove. We don't need. The connection is he walks behind the road. Like we don't need like to see like the previous movies, if that just muddles it.
Yeah,
it just reminds me of like all of these, cheapo, like straight to DVD horror sequels, right? They always get to a certain point where they'll do a clip show thing. What I do like is the fact that this is so brief, right? Like the fact that they're here, I wish that they weren't, but the fact that they're here, but they're used so sparingly, I'm okay to kind of overlook them, is the way that I'll look at it.
Yeah. But in the priest's death is pretty cool too. Okay. Because the Virgin Mary statue comes to life. It's all very esoteric and pagan. It's crazy. It's good stuff.
I really like
the priest
the
like hung
scene.
upside down.
Yeah.
Right?
I really like the scene leading up to that, though. I think it's just the way that it was shot. I mean, I don't know, something just about like the ambition, the lighting, the moodiness of that whole scene, and the confrontation there. I really like, for me, like that was a high point of the movie, and the fact that the priest actually figures it out. He kind of is able to. Even when he's hanging upside down, he was able to actually like get like a word in there, so to speak, right? Like he was like, this guy seems to be completely dominating him, but then he's like, no, wait a minute, that's it, isn't it? That's like your weakness. And the kid seems to be at least somewhat hurt by that by the recognition of it,
I agree.
Yeah, it's the battle of like light versus darkness, cliche, all that stuff. If the mother could have been a protagonist, so could have this principal, right? I think the most disappointing fact is that we're left with Joshua in the end.
Yes.
And that he gets his friend murdered.
Yeah,
sheer negligence.
Deserve that.
Sheer negligence. Anyway, so this leads them to go on their 10-hour, 1-hour road trip, all the way to Nebraska.
Well, there's no enemies nearby, so they can fast travel.
And they go back into the trailer where his scientist father was, using him as well as doing scientist. That's a very busy guy, being abusive and being a scientist.
Time consuming.
So does that mean? So does that mean that the Corn really is, strong and super versatile because of the science? Or because it's evil magic?
Like both, maybe? Like did Eli ingratiate himself with the father so he could get the formula for better corn to make it evil? It's a multi-step process.
Because does that mean he can't make super strong evil corn himself? He needs the help.
Well, I mean, like, look what happened with the fucking father in this movie, right? Like, could we guess that, like, maybe a very similar thing happened just on a rural scale?
Wouldn't the magic help, though?
The magic.
Yeah, it's just funny that he can't just do, since he seemingly can do anything, that he can't just like jump straight to magic evil corn. He needs like an intermediary to be like, well, I don't know shit about growing corn, so I need someone who knows their stuff.
Yeah, someone who can really show me the ropes.
So
that would explain though why it took him 30 years or whatever to get to this point. Like he controlling regenerative invincible corn until he found somebody who could help him do that. So he presumably kept like finding newer and newer families and places to corrupt in the with the ultimate goal of like world domination or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Because otherwise he just seems like stupid or unambitious. Or you're like, oh, you just
Exactly.
like waited.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so Maria's parents have really fucking terrifying deaths. We talked about them so far a little bit, but that part where the mother's head cracks open is nightmarish.
Well, it's jarring because this is the first scene we meet the parents too. Like we meet them and their kid, right? Because we only see the kids previously.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, thank you for coming over with this corn. And it's also so sudden, the fact that like this girl is now like all of a sudden possessed by Eli's thing, because like the prior scene, she was like, oh, he's been making sense. I didn't think that she was already ready to kill her parents, right? Like it's such a giant leap.
Well, the last time we saw them is that he caught her or something, right? Like it cuts away before
He corners her outside her house.
Yeah,
maybe
so maybe I don't know. Maybe he forced.
He enthralled her. Is pretty much the implication.
I literally just don't remember that sequence, but yeah.
But it's not like really a sequence. They start talking outside her house.
She turns around when they leave for the road trip. She's like outside the house, and then she turns around and Eli's there, and then we don't see what happens. But like because we don't know the mechanism of like how he controlled, like how did he amass his like gang of kids? Like does he have like is the black ooze from the dream? Is that something that's like he used? Like we don't know, or he just does it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when he dies later on, you do see everybody kind of almost snapping out of a trance after they're hit with that energy wave or whatever, right? So yeah, but the mechanism of how that happens is unclear. I mean, I think maybe the idea was, at least at one point, that it was supposed to be the corn itself. Like if a kid eats the corn, it's like Eli takes them, or Eli takes them over, or it's like a drug, that like makes you susceptible to whatever his form of to his like form of mind control is. But yeah, they don't really elaborate on that. So somehow though, off screen he enthralls her, and then the next thing we know, she's like a loyal zombie, a parent murderer.
How they get you.
Yeah. Anyway, so Malcolm and Joshua, they find the Necronomicon. And
the Necronomicon.
The Necronomicon.
I've got a bit of behind the scenes knowledge on this. So apparently that's a copy of Stephen King's Night Shift that's been corn bejeweled.
Magnificent. Anyway, awesome. So they fight the zombie scarecrow father. And they it's all well and good. And then Josh was like, wait a minute, I dropped the book. And then he's like, I'll go get it. And Malcolm's like, no, I'll get it. Even though I didn't drop it. It's not my fucking problem.
Which is weird because he wanted to hightail it out of there. Like, I think like 2 or 3 scenes before that, he says, this is too much, man. I'm out of here.
And then dies probably the most horrific death of the entire movie.
Yeah, it's not. It's kind of like the version of that Twilight Zone where the guy becomes a Jack-in-a-Box, but on steroids. But he becomes like a corn stalk.
He was not that tall.
Yeah, the neck stretches like forever. It's so grotesque.
It is unreal. I mean, it just goes like
nightmarish.
I'm pretty sure that has to be like, I mean, Screaming Mad George, right? Like he had a whole touch for the surreal. That was I was honestly just so shocked that they would do that, and more so that they would do it like that. I mean, that just completely went above and beyond my expectations.
Mm-hmm. And what I like about it too is that while I don't like the fact that Josh is who we're left with here, I do like the fact that like everything is crumbling, right? Like the priest has been killed, the mother has been killed, even the children aid person got killed, Malcolm's been killed. Everybody who's around him is slowly falling one by one. It truly does feel like there is a possibility where like Eli could win this.
He should have won it because goddamn Joshua sucks.
Well, he kind of does win, question mark. Yeah, because he's like, they beat him, but then the corn gets out. But then, like we said, it's unclear, like, so the corn is the thing that possesses him, not Eli?
I mean, it was science, so it could work out. But then again, it's being controlled by the elite group of bankers, Chicago bankers. So that's evil. That's evil on its own.
That's the commentary.
Yeah.
I got 2 words for you: mob ties. Once Chicago, always Chicago.
Yeah. Like, thank you, Heinrich, my German friend. This is just beginning. And then like they take out the Klan hoods again from the Nazi swastika armbands. And like, oh my God, it's happening again. He's alive.
I will say I don't like that Joshua is who we are left with, but it makes sense.
What says that?
It makes sense in terms of the story that is actually being told. Like there has to be some kind of consequence to him bringing Malcolm out there. You know what I'm saying? Right. So Malcolm dying makes from a storytelling standpoint, it makes sense. I just feel like this would play a lot better if maybe Joshua's character was written better, or maybe if he was acted better.
He definitely acted better. I'll say that. That's doing most of the dragging down. Is that performance is just so dull. He's giving it nothing.
I mean,
especially when we get to the confrontation, like I would want a little more juice behind. Like this should be Obi-Wan confronting Anakin. You were my brother.
Yeah, for sure. No, I feel maybe they even cut around him a little bit, knowing the limitations of the performance. Maybe that's why some stuff is missing.
I agree. And also, I looking through. There's 2 Charlize Theron's close-ups. There's 2 of them. They knew exactly what they had. It also explains why they're like, wait a minute, this extra is really hot. Let's do this Evil Dead scene.
I do like the fact that, like, so with all of these Children of the Corn movies, it's been like, okay, here, look, all the adults are going to die, and then it's going to be the politics of these kids, and then like a couple of the evil kids die, and that's that, right? This movie is like, okay, the adults have been dying this left and right, and now we're just going to have a full climax where all of these evil kids are going to get taken out, right? I think that this is a very fun climax, Evil Deading aside.
I knew it. I knew it looked familiar. So the other one who gets close-ups too is that were really kind of weird. Okay. And okay, so she was one of the hot chicks from Chuck. Not the main one of the random hot chicks from Chuck.
Oh, okay. It's been a while since I've seen Chuck. I just remember the main girl.
All right, so I knew it. Okay. Anyway, go ahead. Anyway, so the father dies. He's like, you've outlived your purpose. You sold my corn.
And, I like how he shows up drunk, kind of like ready to celebrate. He's like, "Yeah, we sold the corn. We're rich."
Is Joshua rich now too?
I felt sorry for the guy. I really did. There's just something kind of I don't know, something sad about him just finally seeing, hey, wait a minute, what's going on? Who are all these people? Hey, son, it's a really good day. And I mean, you just know he's gonna get it. Like, it's inevitable. I don't know if they were playing it for suspense, but it's just when it happens, it's just like, oh wow. I mean, this guy who has been loyal, who's been kind of faithful to this kid, right? And now it's just he's completely cut down with no in cold blood.
Yeah, because it's like the dad's not a good guy, but you almost hope that he'll get spared because he was useful. You're like, well, I don't know, he helped the corn get out there, so it's all about the corn, right? So he's fine.
That's exactly. Like, there's no reason to kill him, but why not?
He's an adult. I don't know.
Yeah, he thought he was going to get a promotion, right?
He did.
That's all this was for.
He
right?
did. This is your promotion.
To hell.
Yeah. I've come to free you, Eli, from your spell. From this spell. I got the book, Eli.
See, that's where you're wrong. You're like a worm.
Oh my God, that's not how worms work.
Yeah. I just like the idea that like the concept of a worm is that there's always 2 halves of them existing at all times.
Exactly.
And you have to kill them both.
Yeah. You killing one half doesn't count killing one worm. It means you killed half of the other worm. It's like something out of JoJo, man. It's like JoJo explain how a worm works. It's not how a worm works.
I'm surprised we didn't get a scene where a teacher was on a blackboard like describing a parasite or just worms. There was just a picture of a worm on the blackboard, and they're like, "Well, see, if you split them in half, then you have to kill both halves." Like you just established it earlier.
This is not weapons, okay? It's not Zach. It's not Zach Krieger, so we cannot expect something like that here.
Anyway, so they have a fireball fight. He used Hadouken at him.
I love the using the book to block, like
And
he's like using
deflect
it like a baseball bat to like hit it back at him.
If this guy had like a young, Bruce Campbell presence, this would have been like Evil Dead in a fun way, and not in like a weird kind of gropey way.
Yeah, it's weirdly. I'm not sure. I'm just like not sure how this kind of sort of confrontation was supposed to play out. How do we take it? Is it awful? Is it hilarious because it's is it so bad it's good, or is
not
it
filter?
Yeah,
it's not filter this time.
I
think
mean,
supposed to have fun with it.
It is fun for sure, but like the guy literally starts like he loses his kid voice and starts throwing fireballs just like that.
He should have shot corn out of his hands.
Just endless streams of kernels, not even the corn cobs.
Anyway,
go ahead.
Anyway, Joshua throws Eli the book and then stabs him through the book, killing both halves of the worm. You were saying
that's how you kill a worm.
That's how you kill a worm.
I wish it was a more dynamic fight, like they both have their sickles or whatever. They're having like a full on, what I'm saying, like a sword fight with sickles or something.
The extended version has like 2 more fireball attempts to kill him.
But even he gets actually hit with like one fireball. It doesn't really do anything. I mean, I was like, wait, why isn't he set on fire or something?
Because he's not black, like
he
a black
melted
woman.
a lady earlier, like so.
Eli's racist.
Well, that's been established. Yeah,
you're not one of that. Like Eli would say.
Yeah, because we don't really get any conflict on Eli's part, where he's just like, my plan needs to work. So but it'd be interesting if there was like some humanity in him where he's like, oh, my brother, like I hoped you could have joined me or something, and he doesn't want to fight his brother. But there's not really any of that in this climax.
There's no tension, right? And their history doesn't exist, right? And it was a one-way street. Josh was just always being manipulated that entire time.
Yeah, but even then, like Joshua stops once Joshua stops being manipulated, he stops caring too. So it just feels like why even have them? Why even give the pretense of a familiar relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, after this, everyone's like, "Oh wait, he's dead now. Let's get rid of all our crosses, and let's get the hell out of here." And then the corn monster pops up.
Finally, 3 movies.
We got a monster. We've been talking about it,
and it's a great one too.
So before we talk about the corn monster, I was wondering, did they in fact use footage from one of the previous 2 films? Because you do see those shots of calling back to those movies of the underground burrowing, but I could swear.
I think they might have. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, but again, I was even confused by that. I'm like, wait a second, is that reused footage? And also, why do that when you have a very, very different take on He Who Walks Behind the Rose anyway?
Exactly,
because it does not look like that monster was underneath the ground. That seems like a smaller creature in the other ones.
Maybe it's always been the vines.
Well, we never even got the vines in the previous movies. It's the fact that we've actually got like a physical entity threat in this movie that's interesting. And to go off of that note of like the underground burrowing, right? When we see those moments of the dirt piling up, right, it looks like it's a much smaller creature than what we do finally see. And I do really like that it's massive, that it's like apocalyptic when this fight's happening. The way that they dispatch of it's pretty funny too. But the fact that it's just like endless carnage, this is like a real tension relief after everything that's been happening in this movie, even though there's been barely any tension.
Yes. And then, horrific corn-based sexual assault happens to Charlize Theron. And then that's only in the extended cut or the deleted scenes. So if you're gonna watch it, it happens.
You gotta watch out.
Yeah.
I'm sad it was not in the cut that I saw, or at least I don't think so, because it was still, it was edited very quickly.
I'll say one thing. It's kind of there's one thing that's interesting. I'll say interesting. Where like okay, so one of the vines of the Charlize Theron, what you see in the actual cut is that she gets her legs get nabbed by some of the vines, and the Joshua tries to help her, but she gets dragged off, and then that's the last we see of her in the actual cut. Now the deleted scenes and the extended scenes, what happens next is that she's dragged, but she's still trying to get away, and then one gigantic vine just goes right underneath her skirt, and she just sits up, and blood comes out of her mouth.
Oh,
And that's really, and then like her then her dress gets ripped in very sensuous ways.
Damn.
It looked like like she's wearing a bra and panty set.
That almost
and,
sounds gnarlier than Evil Dead.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it's crazy. It's crazy shit. But the rest of it, like it's a lot. It's a lot of good gags. That one guy gets hung by a vine trying to escape, like climb up a wall. And people get like impaled on one vine each. It's great.
Or like a scythe comes and like tails that one girl.
It starts grabbing the scythes, yeah. And then Joshua, he gets caught on two vines that pin him to a wall, and then it turns out he's a really great gymnast.
Right, he's able to like bring the scythe up with his 2 feet to cut one of his arms free, which is amazing.
And it's like a very weird cut too, because like he grabs it with his feet and he jerks it up so that it's in frame, and then like it's like a pair of doll legs because it's showing his face now, like clearly 2 puppet legs from someone off screen who like get it to the vine on his arm.
Speaking of doll, we do have to call out the fact that like when like she gets eaten, right? It just looks like a Barbie.
Yes.
Yes, and then the lead scenes or extended scenes, a lot more things happen that are people that are like claymation.
Oh,
that's wonderful.
I wish they I really like the climax. I love the design of this creature, but also I do wish it were longer and that they had more money to really pull it off. It just felt, it feels like one of those things where they just couldn't really execute this to its full potential because of budget.
Yes.
You know what it feels like? It feels like the the alternate ending to Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes. Where like, especially where like she gets lifted up and then get eaten, like in the original ending to Little Shop of Horrors, the musical.
Mhm.
Well, the fact that she lives almost feels like a rewrite or a reshot ending where it's like, yeah, we can't have everyone die. Like, have the love interests still be alive, because it's like, how does she get spared just because she got swallowed whole for some reason?
Yeah, right. And it's a lot of people. So yes, it just didn't chew with her.
Just fell right through. And also, like, again, like she did kill her parents, right? Like, when's that conversation gonna happen?
Maybe she doesn't remember anything from the trance.
She was in his thrall. Okay, she gets a fair pass on that.
She was only one half of the worm. Got it.
Yeah. So everyone's dead. Let's see here. Joshua uses his magical leg powers to inflate himself, and they chop off the root of the corn monster, and it melts. Okay, and they're like, okay, I'm rich now, and all our parents are dead. Let's finish out high school, man. We're gonna graduate.
It just wraps up really quickly, and then like we get like a almost like Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of like, oh, and here it is, like the conspiracy keeps going, right? And I'm like, is this ever going to come back in another Children of the Corn movie? I doubt it, right? This just seems like an attempt at a sequel grab, but is anybody actually going to follow through? Probably not.
You know,
It'd
I'll
It'd be
be
cool
honest,
if there was a
I don't think
post-apocalyptic one.
it
Yeah.
would be great, but I don't think they were ever really making movies with that intention at the time. You know what I mean? It's like
Oh, for
I
sure.
think a lot of I just feel like a lot of the horror movies of the 80s, especially, you know, they're just gonna go out with like one last little not even a cliffhanger, but more of like, okay, one last scare, one last thing, whatever.
is
you know,
it?
even Sorry?
Like, oh, is it? You know,
It's
like,
almost like
Yeah,
a
like,
Twilight
ooh, is
Zone
it over?
ending
Yeah.
of like,
Right.
you're safe, or are you?
Ah!
I mean, and again, if we're talking about Season of the Witch as being a point of reference, yeah, that's totally like a Season of the Witch-esque moment where it's like the bad guys are dead, but it looks like, yeah, the apocalypse is still going to happen.
The corn apocalypse.
The corn apocalypse. Yes, the corn apocalypse is totally happening, and it's starting in Europe.
It would.
Naturally.
It's just going to be like 28 years where they do a quarantine in Europe.
No one's allowed to leave England.
Or Germany or something. Actually, you know, now that I think about it, wouldn't it be interesting to see a Children of the Corn movie in Europe? You know, it would be like, I don't know, Sweden or something, or like some like how
Austria.
it. Yeah, exactly. Like, how does it meld with like the local festivals or pagan stuff or whatever?
Yeah, I think that there's a great idea actually there, right? And because like, you know, think of like Midsummer, right? Like it's not too
Mhm.
far off.
Little Dutch boys are already scary. Now imagine one with a scythe.
Much to consider.
you know, should be the legacy sequel. You know, let's bring Charlie's back. You know,
Elvis is just like, we gotta bring Charlize back in the fold. You know?
yeah, we got to, you know, say, you know, we're sorry what happened. This one won't. You'll be the main character this time. You know, but you see what life after Children of the Corn is like. You know,
We just felt like there was more places your character could go.
exactly. Maybe this time you control the vines.
Jeez Louise.
That's empowerment.
Exactly. This movie did it, and we just gotta evolve it. You know, it's 21st century after all. Anyway, Germany again. Again, is that part of the themes? It's German. I don't know.
I like maybe if you extrapolate, you know, I feel like He Who Walks Behind the Rose would be like a thing that Hitler would totally have been trying to research, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So that's it. You know, we're at the end. It's the final trilogy. What did you guys think of it? Mikhail, your final thoughts here. Unless anything else you want to, what is there anything else you want to talk about? Particularly about this one.
I don't know. I think that all things considered, I wish this movie had not been direct to video. I wish they had like the amount of money they had for the second one. I wish they had it for the third one instead.
Yeah.
Like it just needed a bit more money, maybe a slightly better lead actor. I suspect it wasn't able to afford that. But all things considered, yeah, this is the best Children of the Corn film. It's a good, you know, it's a good way for the trilogy to go out. I think as a whole, I mean, I like the Children of the Corn movie. Look, the first three, I haven't seen almost. I haven't. I think I've only seen like Isaac's Return. After this one,
I can't wait for Isaac to return.
Yeah.
Great.
Come down
Yeah.
the days.
Only two more until then.
Overall, I am impressed with how they have been like proceedingly. I don't know. I guess maybe they are kind of proceedingly better. I do think that in some ways the second movie is slightly better than the first one, and this one was just like this one was really a couple of steps up. So yeah, pretty impressive overall.
100%.
Mhm.
What do you guys think?
Well, I definitely felt like it's got some issues at times, but if someone were to come up to me and be like, "Hey, is Children of the Corn worth watching?" Then my answer to them would be like, "No, Children of the Corn isn't worth watching. Children of the Corn 3 Urban Harvest is worth watching." It's not because this movie is like amazing, but it's because it's got a lot of fun little knickknacks and tricks up its sleeve. And while there are moments that could be a bit better, I accept it for what it is, and it's a good popcorn ride. This is the kind of funhouse ride I'm looking for when it comes to cheesy, like bad B movies.
So
Not perfect, but good.
I put in the chat the last part of the Charlize thing. I was like trying to find the evidence that it's on a movie comparison site.
Whoa, looks intense. But yeah,
Crazy.
this was fun. Like I get why fans say that this is the peak of the franchise, but then that does make me worry because I'm like, okay, how far of a drop are we going from here?
Yeah, like 8 more to go.
Right, because so they're all. I'm just not going to expect any of them to. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised, but they're like, oh well, if they don't live up to this one. Although Naomi Watts is in the next one, and
Right.
Karen Black, I'm like, those are real actors.
and then like Eva Mendes is in the one after that. So it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm interested to see where they go, and I'm interested to see because at this point there's not really like Mikhail was saying, like there's not like continuity in these kind of horror movies. So I'm curious if they're gonna kind of just continue being one-offs. Although we do know Isaac will return. Somehow Isaac returns. So, is that? Are we going to be standalone until then, and then they're kind of trying to retroactively make it connect to all of them, or like how is it? I'm curious like what the lore will do.
It'll be flashbacks to this, and then every time we see like whatever Eli was doing, there'll be a color scene of Isaac in the same room. So he influenced Isaac, who influenced him. So it was a nesting doll.
Wait, really? Okay. I'm thinking I should definitely revisit Isaac's return because I don't remember any of that.
I'm thinking a joke. Like it'd be funny that they kind of connected by just saying he was behind this as well. They're all behind each other.
Who can? I am interested actually now in maybe seeing a few more of these. I think I kind of wanted to check out after this one, but now I'm like, okay, maybe maybe I should. Maybe it makes sense to keep going.
I've heard the next one described as the origin of He Who Walks Behind the Rose. Like, what does that mean? And is that real, or is it made by someone who never watched the fucking movie?
Right, like what an origin for like a pagan god, or like what does that mean?
I could maybe spoil that a little bit because I remember just reading summaries of it.
Nah, let's go in fake. Let's go in blind.
Okay, sure.
Anyway, let's see here. Anything else anyone want to talk about? I'm kind of spent on this.
I'm just curious, like, what the perspective will be. I mean, like, we see a kid on the cover for Deadly Harvest, but like, is it going to be kind of the shift that we got with Urban Harvest, where it's like, yeah, it is mostly the kid POV and the adults are supporting? Because I think that was a good balance, even if we are kind of in agreement of like, oh, some of these adults should have like lasted longer, or maybe even been emphasized over our young lead. But yeah, like, what's going to be the because like it seems like less and less, like, yes, Eli does talk about how adults shouldn't be trusted in this, but that almost feels like an afterthought. Like the corn itself is just so much more important. And I'm like, how much are we going to hammer home the like kill all adults? Is that going to be permanently part of this?
Well, let's look at we made the bingo list last time, so let's see how much we checked off this one. Okay, cornfield. Okay, that's good. Corn-based kills. Yeah, we got them.
Definitely.
Farm-based kills, which is separate. None this time.
We got the scarecrow.
Yeah, okay, Scarecrow. Well, yeah, Scarecrow. It'd be Randy Crofts. So it's a brunette little boy who speaks weird. Yep. Prophetic drawings. We'll give that.
Yeah.
No bitch slapping kids, specifically adults.
Doesn't the brother like kind of
Wait.
punch a kid out of the way or something?
Yeah, but like
Yep.
that's another kid though. You're supposed to be like adult.
Oh, okay.
fighting these kids.
There's no adults hitting kids, which is why the mom should have lived till the end at least.
She should at least gotten one swing in at Eli.
The dad should have gotten at least one swing of his belt or something.
Yeah. So he who walks, yes, bad possession VFX, like the filter and stuff. We didn't get any of that this time.
No, yeah.
All right. Religion, hell yeah, we got a lot of religion in this one. Climax in a cornfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got him. Choral chanting.
Yeah, we got some
yeah.
on the scores.
Yeah.
Some. Yeah. No, but that main theme never making a comeback, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, is that a rights thing? It's like where some franchises don't own everything from the franchise, or it's like that's a separate, like.
It goes for like composer for that.
Though
right.
there's one thing I didn't say about this movie. I guess this is a great way to do it when we're rounding out here. This was the only Children of the Corn movie that Stephen King enjoyed.
Well, yeah, I mean, we get it. You know, it has the kind of the urban stuff, the possession stuff, some of the incestual stuff. He loves all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only thing
tracks.
that was missing was red corn. You know, like
Red-
should have been some red bear. I mean,
Red Bear, Frank Red Bear.
red corn. When will Return of Red Bear? Like, let's get that cooking.
Let's get his legacy movie. You know,
Oh Jesus! Yeah.
Like his son or his grandson comes
And-
back to fight the cult.
yeah, it's like Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah, yeah, they have to do a father-son Kamehameha to defeat the ghost of Isaac.
All right. But yeah, no. My favorite thing about all these, when I look at reviews of this, all of them are always negative. But then there's one review that's like, "Oh, 70 minutes worth your time if you won't hear yourself. If you spend 70 minutes on it." And I think about how long we spend talking about this. Like we waste a lot more time than 70 minutes.
Well, there's a lot to discuss. These are cheesy movies, but they've got stuff going on under the hood.
Yeah. All right. So that was Urban Harvest. I agree with Mikhail. This should have gotten the budget. This should have been in theaters. You know, but it's definitely the best of the three. And so we'll see how 4 goes. I'm in for 4. You know, we always said this would be the make or break. I feel like we owe it to the strength of this one to see where 4 goes.
And we're halfway to Isaac coming back. So
We're halfway.
Yeah, it's too alluring to. I just have to see what even if it's all downhill from here. Like I gotta know.
Isaac will be playing an adult this time. It's kind of crazy.
I heard the
Yeah.
actor is too.
Yeah, which is interesting because that's what I mean. Like, is it still adults are evil if Isaac's an adult? Like, are they gonna have to like switch up the lore?
Well, you need the one special adult to lead the children, right? That's why Isaac needs to stick around.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
could be the new gas.
Oh, by the
station,
way, yeah, we do. But remember, like there was this whole thing about Nicholas Brendon being in this movie. So did anybody actually spot him?
I don't think he was in this one. I think only in the other one. Right. Let's see here. Children of the Corn.
Because we were looking at the cast for one of them, and we saw.
So it says Nicholas Brendon in Children of the Corn. I did not spot him. I didn't spot him.
He's in Urban Harvest. That's on his.
That's what it says. That's what it says. Here we go. Let's see.
Basketball player 1.
Okay, he's Okay, he's on. Yeah, he's on the in the recess. He's wearing a red hoodie in like in the schoolyard. Yes, he looks old, but I see the gif. Let me share the gif. Let me share the gif of it. It'd be the first one on this Tumblr page. Yeah, I remember seeing him. I do remember seeing him, but I didn't realize it was him because he had this weird F-ass haircut.
Before they came to Sunnydale.
Oh,
There's Malcolm.
Wow.
Malcolm commands the scene. That's the reason why.
Yep.
Malcolm's a true star.
Malcolm should have been Eli's brother.
Malcolm should have been Xander on Buffy. But Josh Whedon wouldn't allow it. We know why.
Okay,
Malcolm doesn't,
well, yep, there
Malcolm
he
doesn't
is.
have a Wikipedia page. Let's see where else he's been. I'm surprised he doesn't have a Wikipedia page. I'm interested. Does he have? Oh, he doesn't even have an IMDb profile pic. Ooh, this is
Yeah, maybe
crazy.
he's not an actor. Or no, he's been in stuff. He was in a Tales of the Crypt episode.
He was Tales from the Crypt. Saved by the Bell for an episode. A lot of one episode stuff.
Yeah, well, TV.
Dionysus Murder. So after Children of the Corn, he was extra in a couple of things. And the last thing he was in was in 1997, 2 years later.
Oh,
that's sad. He was pretty good.
Yep, he had way more presence than our actual lead. So, yeah.
It should have been Malcolm living and saving his sister. Because that's a real familial relationship, rather than this fake one. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, so that's Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest. Thank you for watching and listening, and we're out. We how you going? See you next time for Naomi Watts. Apparently. All right, see ya. King Kong.
Ain't got